Right. Of course, there was not a lot of Premier League action in terms of games to talk about last week because of the international break, but that does not mean that there's not enough happening in the Premier League. Let's start off with the big topic straight up. It's Project Big Picture. All right, it's something that the big clubs in English football have kind of proposed to the Premier League. It's something that the Big Six plus Everton and West Ham, I think, are going for.
No. So it is something that is being pushed, keeping the big clubs in mind. And so they're using nine. The big six and Everton, West Ham, and Southampton are long-term shareholders because they're long-term Premier League members. So nine people. But to clarify, only Manchester United and Liverpool are actually pushing for this.
Yeah.
So they have
Of course they are.
proposed these changes on behalf of the big six plus these three clubs. So
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
basic-
yeah, Akash, please give us and our listeners an insight into what Project Big Picture is. Firstly, it's a terrible name. Let's just get that out of the way. Project Big Picture is a terrible name. But Akash, tell us about Project Big Picture. What does it mean for the Premier League?
So, in a nutshell, it is basically an attempt by Manchester United and Liverpool to make sure that all the power of the Premier League lies with the big six, and not even the other three clubs, but with the big six teams that are there.
Yeah.
What they have said is, look, they've told the EFL that we get that y'all are going through a really tough time financially, thanks to COVID and thanks to the financial crisis that the world is going through.
Yeah.
So we will give you a massive loan to cover for all the clubs that are currently going through this crisis. And a lot of clubs, as we know, are struggling to stay afloat in a situation like this.
Yeah.
So they've said, we'll give you a big loan, which is around the tune of 250 million pounds.
Yeah.
We'll also give you 100 million pounds as a gift that doesn't need to be repaid.
I'm just gonna stop you right there. Man United are pushing for this. Jadon Sancho cost 120 million. उसकी जरूरत थी भोसड़ी के एड उसकी जरूरत थी. We won't pay 120 million for Jadon Sancho, but fucking hell, we'll give it to Norwich City.
No, but it's going to be 100 million that the entire Premier League will be giving to the EFL, which, for starters, is a fucking ridiculous amount. Keeping in mind the transfers that take place, keeping in mind the amount of money that is spent every season, every window on transfers, 100 million is really, it's like change, because it's 100 million that'll get divided over what, about 70 clubs that are outside the Premier League and a part of the EFL. But they have said, we'll give you this generous gift of 100 million. We'll give you a loan of 250 million in exchange for a few changes, just a small few changes.
Just harmless changes.
Few harmless changes. One, which will very directly affect the Premier League, is that the number of teams will go down from 20 to 18, which means that teams then have fewer fixtures to worry about, making it easier for these teams that have European football to deal with the fixture congestion.
Right.
What that will also do is, instead of 3 teams getting automatically relegated to the championship, 2 teams will automatically get relegated. And then there'll be a playoff for the 3rd relegation spot, similar to the playoff that occurs in the championship for the 3rd promotion spot.
For the promotion spot, which is again weird that Man United are pushing for this, because they will find themselves in that playoff spot. So what is Ed Woodward doing?
This is also what the Bundesliga currently follows.
Right.
And that gives a little bit of excitement, I guess, to the lower league teams, because then that way you can be shit and you can be Man United, but you can still have a semi-final and a final to look forward to.
Yeah.
And something to play for. So I guess that's where that's coming in from.
Do they also, like, whoever wins that playoff, do they also get a trophy? Like they should get some sort of silverware, right? Like if Tottenham can get a silverware, get a trophy that says we put the pressure on Chelsea, I think that the team that survives or the teams that survive should also get like trophies. Like, and
Yeah, I
it's
can see
just
that happening. It'll probably be a shield that says you stayed absolutely where you were.
yeah. But okay, tell me something. All right, when it comes to when it comes to the championship playoffs for promotion, uh, four teams play the playoff, and obviously
Right.
only one team will win, and that's the third team that gets promoted. How does that work for relegation? Because like who goes down? The person who wins the playoff goes down. Like how does that work?
That's an interesting question. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, exactly, right. Like because what's going to happen? Like the
No,
bottom
so
two
I'm
teams,
guessing. No, I'm guessing. Wow, that would be weird. But I'm guessing it would be two teams play each other, and the
right?
And
loser
then
of
loser
those
goes.
two teams, both the losers play each other, and the winner survives. So you're not playing to get relegated, but you're playing to survive.
Yeah, you're
So
playing to survive. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
as far as you don't lose,
Right,
you stay up.
right.
And
I
I'm
mean,
guessing within that, like there'll be the two winners of
right.
the first two playoffs will still probably play just for the administrative reasons of finding out which team is like 13th and which team is 14th, I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then 15th and then 16th and yeah. So to figure
Yeah, I
out
mean,
which team
it's
ended
not that
13th and
confusing.
14th.
It's just you're
Yeah.
playing to stay up. Like, so it's like 17th, 18th go, say 14th, 15th, 16th play like a Triwizard tournament, and then the loser goes.
But yeah, so basically that's what they want to do. They also want to make really big changes in the loan system.
Okay.
So right now, if I'm not mistaken, you can only have a maximum of two players on loan from the same team, and there's a limit of I think 4 or 6 players that can be loaned out in a particular division. The Premier League teams want to change that, or by that I mean United and Liverpool want to change that and allow clubs to have 15 players out on loan domestically at one point and up to 4 players at a single club. So basically, then if you sort of form an alliance or what's the word I'm looking for, affiliation with a club, you can send 4 of your players there, which will make a massive difference to that club, but will also make a huge difference in the growth of these players. So teams like Chelsea will really benefit from this. So they don't have to send all their players out to international leagues. Instead, their players can get the experience that they want within the English league system itself.
Right.
Now, the other thing, the last massive change that they want to make is that currently, if any wholesale changes need to be made in the Premier League, be it rules, be it changing CFO, CEO, any of that.
Wait, but before that, isn't there also something about the removal of the League Cup and the Community Shield?
Yeah.
There is. I forgot about that. No League Cup and no Community Shield.
So only the FA Cup will be involved.
Only the FA Cup will be involved, and they want to also delay the start of the Premier League season slightly, so that you can also have a longer pre-season. Again, that allows these big clubs to go to your United States or to Germany, or basically get the big money tournaments. And once every 5 years, they also want the Premier League teams to play a summer Premier League tournament. So a pre-season tournament within the Premier League.
Fuck, that's confusing. Also, I don't know why they want to remove the League Cup and the Community Shield, because those are the only 2 trophies that Arsenal can realistically win. So it's just sad for Arsenal. And Mikel Arteta was just going on so much. He's really killing it with winning those trophies. And he's like, fuck, man, that's the only chance I had, and you're fucking taking it away from me. So.
Yeah, but again, they just want to decrease the number of fixtures.
Right. And yeah, sorry, I interrupted you with this. You were going on about the biggest change.
Yeah, so the big change is that they want, currently, if any changes need to be made in the Premier League, be it rule changes, be it personnel changes like CFO, CEO, or even accepting new owners
Hmm.
for clubs.
Hmm.
Right now, you need 14 out of 28 teams to agree to it for the motion to be passed.
Right.
So you not only do you need a majority, but you need a healthy majority
Yeah.
of 80% to pass anything.
Yeah.
What these guys want to do is they want to change it from 14 out of 20
Hmm.
or 16 out of 20
Hmm.
to 6 out of 18.
Right. I
And
wonder
the
who those
main
6
voters
would be.
and the main voters, main 9 voters, like I said earlier, will be the big 6
Hmm.
plus Everton, West Ham, and Southampton.
Hmm.
So essentially, the big 6 can control the league.
So what you're saying is this is a plan to promise you a lot of good things, promise you a lot of loans and a lot of economic infrastructure and a lot of
Lot of good
development.
thing is
Yeah, a lot of
debatable.
lot of
Lot of good
development.
thing.
Yeah, but there's development, there's economic infrastructure, and at the heart of it, the catch is voting rights are going to be severely curtailed. I don't know.
Not only
Correct
that,
me,
not only
correct me
that,
if I'm, but correct me if I'm wrong. This sounds like something that we as Indians have very recently experienced in a general, more a political way. I don't
are
know.
we really going down
I
that
mean,
road?
I'm just
I
getting
mean, we can
deja vu.
resonate with it.
I'm just getting deja vu. I just feel like, हाँ कहीं तो सुना है ये. Like all these tall promises, but at what cost? But yeah, we're not a political podcast, guys. Corner Flag is not a political
Yeah,
podcast. For those of you listening or
Our,
watching,
our football views are controversial enough. I mean, there's an Everton fan on it.
yeah,
Let's not get into politics.
yeah. But it's what do you guys think? Do you think this is going to happen? You think this is something that will actually go through? Because this would be the biggest change to the Premier League since the inception of the Premier League in 1992.
92, yeah.
I think it's fucking bullshit.
It's crap,
I
no?
think it's a hostage situation.
Yeah,
Right now, United and Liverpool are holding pretty much all but 9 clubs. Oh, well, actually, that all but 6 clubs hostage. And they're basically telling the EFL that, look, you all are close to bankruptcy. Lots of clubs are struggling because, look, lower league teams don't get broadcasting money.
Yeah.
All of their money comes in from ticket sales,
yeah,
from gate receipts, which right now they're not getting at all. The UK
Yeah.
government's not even allowing them to open on a on a limited capacity basis.
yeah,
So they're struggling and they're in deep shit.
yeah.
Premier League's like, oh, we'll slightly help you. We'll help you really little bit, but we'll fuck you over in so many ways. Because not only does this voting rights system fuck things over, but taking away the League Cup. The League Cup is not very important to the big 6, right? Because
Yeah.
they already have Europe to worry about.
Yeah.
But even for a team like Everton, for West Ham, for Wolves, that's a chance at trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for the lower league teams, it's a chance for Accrington Stanley to play Manchester United. It's a chance for.
But
your
wait, are you
Salford-
talking about Accrington Stanley as in the substitute for Man United from the previous episode? So are you talking about Man United versus Man United, or like?
No,
how does that-
I was using Accrington Stanley as substitute for Manchester United. But because I'm already using Accrington Stanley, I needed a substitute for them, so I was substituting Manchester United for them.
Oh, so it is.
It was a switcheroo.
Yeah, it was the
So I
as
said,
Akshay Kumar puts it.
Yeah, it's like face off.
Yeah.
It's like face off. So, but the League Cup for the lower league teams, you get a chance to play the big teams. You get a chance
Exactly,
to
yeah.
play at Old Trafford. You get a chance to
Yeah.
play at all of these clubs and make a lot of money out of
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Grab
yeah.
eyeballs and actually for once get a little bit of broadcasting money.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
but
So it's
they've got like a higher
fucking all the lower
percentage, if I'm
leagues.
not wrong. I think there was something about the broadcasting percentage also that they've kind of, that the deal was part of this. I don't know, some 44% to like 25% that they're kind of going to get, which is a lot more money to the
Right.
EFL. And I think that was the deal that why EFL was actually trying to go onwards, because they're getting more money onto it.
Yeah, but that would be a very short-sighted way of looking at it.
Exactly, but that's the thing that Manchester United and Liverpool want to like hammer on to, They're
Yeah.
saying that take all the money, but give us all the rights.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's just a power grabbing move. And if this happens, what will essentially happen is no team will be allowed to actually break into the top six. Already, there's so much of a gulf between the top six and all the other teams.
Yeah.
Sadly, I include Everton in that. That gulf is just going to become so much more because the top six controls it.
Yeah.
So, and the top six, very crucially, will have control over whether a new owner can come in and say buy a Southampton.
Right.
So if the next Sheikh Mansour or the new Sheikh Mansour wants to buy Southampton or buy Newcastle and make them the next big thing, it will not be possible because the big six will have the power to veto that move.
Right.
So there is absolutely no democracy or no.
So weirdly, right? One of the things that really was attractive. Remember, there was that whole rumor about Newcastle being taken over.
Yeah.
And one of the things I loved was it's still ugly money. It's still billions of dollars, but it's so weird and nice to have like say 8 companies owned by big billionaires. And now weirdly, it's a more unpredictable league. When it was just Man City being owned by a big billionaire for 2-3 years, they kept winning everything.
Right.
And now Liverpool have caught up and say, but the idea that a Burnley could one day, just like how Man City overnight became a big club, right?
Exactly.
The fact that a Burnley can become something like that, I feel like, I get why it's done.
Chelsea did the same thing, but just much before Manchester City.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I get
very hipster. Chelsea is very hipster.
Old
yeah.